Hey guys, my name is Poetic Rainbow and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you all my favorite tips and techniques using WorldEdit for building and for general use as well. Personally, my first technique is to use a visualizer for your selections. The one I use for Minecraft 1.15 for Fabric is called Euclid. Euclid visualizes your selections using boxes. The green box represents your first position and the blue box represents your second position. No matter the size of your selection, you will always be able to see the grid around the borders of your selection, and you can see the full cube of whatever block you have selected. That's my first tip, but let's actually get into the real ones. My first technique I like to use with WorldEdit is being able to transform a build into something else. This is a little statue of my Minecraft server's mascot, Alfredo the Orc. I'm going to be turning him into a little statue, as you can see in our spawn point on the server. So first thing, I'm going to select this entire plot because why not? I'm going to use the / expand command, and I'm going to go until I have the whole thing selected. So now you can see that I have this whole statue selected, and I could use a replace near command as well, but this is easier for most people to conceptualize. I want to turn little Alfredo here into a statue. So I'm going to replace his main block here, which is green terracotta, with / replace green _ terracotta, pressing tab to complete it. And then I'm going to turn that into stone, which I'm also going to tab to complete. And now you can see all the green terracotta, except for the lime terracotta, because it's not the same block, has been turned into stone. Now I'm going to use another command. I'm going to replace the lime terracotta with andesite to show the highlights on his face still. It still looks a little flat, but we can still show what used to be there. Next, I'm going to replace two things at once because there's not that many stone types. I'm going to be replacing the white terracotta, and using a comma, I'm going to select multiple blocks. I'm also going to turn the white concrete both into diorite. Diorite is a white block, and those are both white. And since there's no other white stone blocks that aren't polished, I'll be using those two. And now you can see if I do / decel command, it'll remove my selection, and we can see better again. We can see that now he's a little statue that you can put in the wild somewhere, hide him away, and, let him live his life. And that's how I love to use WorldEdit to make builds transform into something new. My next favorite tip and technique for WorldEdit is to use WorldEdit to make your blends or patterns in your builds. This is one of my favorite techniques because I absolutely love automatically randomizing something, because randomizing blocks by hand can get really frustrating. So I have built this tree and this bush using lime wool and brown wool. Now, it's not going to be oak leaves and oak wood. We're actually going to be using a little mix of blocks to make this more textured and have more variation to it. I'm now going to use a new command to replace these leaves, which is called replace near. In a radius of 30, I'm going to replace lime wool with oak leaves and spruce leaves. Now you'll see that automatically these are decaying. So what's the problem with this? Why are they decaying? And that's because with WorldEdit, your leaves are not automatically assigned a tag that leaves have. Leaves have a tag called persistent. And when a leaf is placed by a player, they automatically become persistent, which is not their default block state. So if we want to keep these leaves around, we're going to add a tag using brackets, persistent. We can use our arrow keys to go up and down. You go to true, press tab, close brackets. And we'll do this on both of the leaves. And now they will not be decaying. Next, let's replace our brown wool with oak wood. Now this can be a very useful technique for a block like oak wood, as oak wood rotates as you place it. And if you don't want to have to go through and make sure that all your blocks are vertical, this will automatically make them all vertical for you. No need to worry about it. For stone, one of my favorite techniques is mixing stone in with andesite like I did on the statue. Now, because I have stone over there, I don't want to mess anything up. So I'm going to do / replace stone with stone and andesite. And now we have a much nicer scene here. Next, and my last thing I'm going to do to this plot of land is fix up this vegetation, because I think there's a lot of orchids over here and it's not very well balanced. So I'm going to / replace grass and blue orchid. And I'm just going to make them grass and blue orchid again. This will redistribute them, and we can see that now it is distributed, but the blue orchids are a little heavy. So let's do that again, but make it 70% grass and 30% blue orchid. Now that wasn't a big difference, but let's go with 15% blue orchid and 85% grass. And now we see the blue orchids have been redistributed, and now they are not so bunched up in one corner. My next favorite tip and technique for WorldEdit is to fix your builds. See, here I have built a house. I made it odd on one side and I made it even on the other. And this was supposed to be a 1-block door. So I'm going to use WorldEdit to fix it. I'm going to select the first half of the build. I'm going to look in this direction that I want to move this, do / move. And now my build is odd on both sides. So if I deselect it, we can now see that we can now put a 1-block door in and it'll all be fine. My last and one of my favorite technique is to use WorldEdit as a mirror. Let's say you are building a big, large city, or you're just building a couple large buildings. Let's say you're a builder on a server and you're working for them, or let's say you're making your own map on your own terms. You built one half and your building is going to be symmetrical. So we can use WorldEdit to copy one half of the building onto the other. Now I'm going to select the building, including the floor, because if I forgot the floor, then we'll have to place the floor on the other side. I have this whole half selected, and I'm going to stand in the very center of the building, / copy, and that copies this building relative to where I'm standing. So if I paste this anywhere else, you'll see that it starts from wherever I'm standing. Now, wherever you're standing has to be where you want your axis of symmetry to be. Now, if you don't know what that means, basically this is going to be the block that is the mirror or the transition between your two halves. Now I'm going to look away into the side of the building that I want to reflect it into. I'm going to do / flip, and that flips my clipboard from wherever I'm standing in the copied building. And now if I / paste, it'll paste the building as a direct mirror, not a rotation, a direct mirror of the side I have already built. If I do / deselect, you can see it more clearly. And now we have a perfectly symmetrical building. And sometimes glass panes have a little bit of trouble with WorldEdit when it comes to pasting or reconnecting them. So just replace them and they'll reconnect. You can do this for even buildings as well, but when you do your flip, you want to move a block over. So you're copying here, moving over, so you can have the same building just flipped onto that side and have an even center. And now we have a very easy symmetrical building. You can actually also do this with just a quarter of a building as well. So let's try it. Let's take a quarter of this building here. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to paste it. And now I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. And we're going to make this move and then paste it around to make an even centered little building. I'm going to rotate 90 degrees. Now you can always do a / paste to test which direction it is, and I can see that it's this way. So I'm going to undo. I'm going to stand on this block because I want to have an even 4-block center. I'm going to / paste, and now we have a rotated 90-degree part of the building. I'm going to repeat this process and keep moving around the circle as I paste. And now we have an even centered little building. This is a really nice way to just make easy filler buildings if you're making a large city that is not going to be completely 100% functional. And those are my favorite ways to use the flip command, the copy command, the paste command, and the rotate command. And those were all of my favorite ways that I like to use WorldEdit. I hope you enjoyed my tips and techniques I shared with you, and I really hope you go on to use them in your own builds, even if you aren't a builder. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed, comment your favorite command or technique from this video, and subscribe if you're interested in more videos from me in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.